Hi, you guys. I hope you had a really good week last week playing bingo. Hey, I'm going to give you just a little overview of your new module and how it works. So here I am back in the Concord Learning module. I am now doing module V2 for hurricanes. You are going to be doing activities 1 and 2 this week. So if I click in this top left corner menu, remember you can always use this to get to any of the activities. This week you're going to do activity 1 risk, activity 2 tracks. What I'm going to show you here in this version is I'm going to show you just one quick thing on activity 1. And then I'm going to cut to actually a video that I made for you on my iPad to show you how one thing in activity 2 works. That's going to, it'll work for you, but there's a certain way that you have to do it. So make sure you stick around to watch that for activity 2. So in activity 1, I think it's on page 3, the thing I would like to show you. Nope, I lied. It's on page 4. So remember, I'm just clicking through the pages up here. And if I go down, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. It's going to talk to you about something called a cone of uncertainty. This week is all about like risks of hurricanes. How do you predict where a hurricane's going to be? How do you protect people from hurricanes? So if you look here, it says there is something called a cone of uncertainty that estimates the path of a hurricane's eye. So if you look down here, you're going to have a little slideshow. It actually doesn't work on my computer, but it will on your iPad. It worked on mine. So I just am going to pop this picture up a little bigger, and I want to just make sure that you are looking down here. So down here gives you a lot of information so you can tell what this picture is showing you because you might not be able to just looking at it. So I want to show you right here. This shows you the time and the date that this picture is representing. This orange dot right here shows you currently, so at this date and time where the hurricane is. You have some forecasted positions. Down here it shows you day 1 through 3. So right here it's showing you the first 3 days of this hurricane where they predict it to be. The dotted area, which is up here, shows you where it's predicted to be on day 4 and 5. And then if you look here, anytime you see these colors show up, that's going to show you where there are watches and warnings. You are only going to see those pop up when it makes landfall, but you will see it change colors as you click back and forth through this. Okay, and the only other thing I want to tell you about activity 1 is that a lot of the questions in activity 1 are questions like, what do you think? What do you feel is the biggest risk? What do you think is the biggest impact? So just as long as you guys are answering those as best you can, there's really no right or wrong answers as long as you're saying this is what I think and this is why. Okay, so now I'm going to cut to a little video I made for you on my iPad to show you something for activity 2. Okay. All right, guys, now I'm going to show you just a little bit on activity 2, and I'm going to show you 2 pages that I think will help you. There's a new kind of model that you're using, and I just want to give you a short demo on how to use it. So I'm on activity 2, hurricane tracks. I'm going to start on, I can't remember if it's page 3 or 4. I believe it's page 3. So at the top here, I'm just clicking at page 3. Yep. So one really quick extra picture I want to show you this activity is a lot about pressure, high pressure and low pressure. If you think back to when we did weather in class, we kept track of the pressure every day. So pressure actually has a huge impact on weather and what happens in weather, high and low pressure systems. So I want to show you these 2 pictures right up here at the top. You have a low pressure system here on the left and a high pressure system here on the right. And what's happening, I'm just going to go right here. Oh, there's my daughter singing. So if you look here on the left, areas of low pressure are actually going to be warmer. So if you think about it, the warmer something is, the further out the particles are going to expand and move because they have a lot of energy, which creates an area of low pressure. So hot air typically is going to be lower pressure. And if you look here on the left, higher pressure is going to be colder. So if you think about it, when an object is cold or when it's colder or frozen, the particles are not moving as fast. Since they're not moving as fast, that means they're more tightly packed together, which would create an area of higher pressure. So if we look here, you can see the lower pressure on the left. Remember, that is warmer air. Heat rises. So as heat rises, new air is going to come in and take that place. So areas of low pressure air typically is going to move towards an area of low pressure. And on the right side, the high pressure, the colder air, remember, cold air is sinking. So as it sinks, it's going to move out. So in an area of higher pressure, the air typically is moving out. So what you're going to do here, this is the new Hurricane Explorer that you are going to use. So it asks you a couple questions about it, but I just want to show you a few things that are kind of neat. So first of all, if you don't want to do anything, you can just hit start. And you will see there is a little hurricane down here at the bottom. It's going to show you what that hurricane does with these areas of high and low pressure around it. You can see also the different colors represent different intensities of a storm. A tropical storm is yellow, and then you increase intensity as you go down the line here all the way to a category 5 with winds over 157 miles an hour. That would be a red area, which we didn't get here. But if you look like question 4, it says, what do the arrows in the model represent? So if I had to take a guess at that one, or if you were guessing at this one, I don't want to give you an answer. So just take a guess. What do you think the arrows represent? You have speed, direction, or speed and direction of wind. Question number 5, you're going to look, same thing, make your best prediction. What is the relationship between direction of the wind and the movement of the hurricane? So you can reload it and you can start it again if you want, but you just look at these arrows and you watch. Typically, you should hopefully see that the hurricane is following along with those arrows. Question 6, it says, what category is the hurricane when it makes landfall? So you have tropical storm all the way to category 5. So if we look at this, we're going to let it run here. When it makes landfall, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. It makes landfall right here where it's still that darker orange color. Landfall just means it gets onto land. And so I would probably classify that as maybe a category 3. Looks like a little bit darker color. One thing I do want to show you here for question 7, it says click base map tab in the upper right corner and then click street map. You are not going to have it show up. So I want to show you down here in the bottom right corner, you should see a box with 4 arrows going in 4 different directions. If I touch that box, then my options for base map should show up. So then I can click base map, street map, and then if I zoom in where it made landfall, okay, and I have to X that out, but where it made landfall, if I zoom in, to me looks like that would probably be New York. Okay, so then I want to show you one thing that's neat on the second page. You're going to make some predictions, but what I want to show you is that you can also move, and it's going to give you directions to this if you read through it, but I'm just going to show you. It's going to ask you down here, it says your turn to explore as you change positions of high and low pressure systems. Look at how air pressure systems affect winds around the system. So I just want to show you how you can do that. If I hit start and I run this model, so we're going to let it go through here, it's showing me how this hurricane is going to react to these high and low pressure systems. But what I want to show you is if I hit stop, you are supposed to be able to move around these high and low pressure systems. It's not letting me. So as I'm touching it, it's not going. But what I want to show you is if I reload, now it should. It will only work if you haven't ran the simulation yet. So now I should be able to touch that high pressure system and I can move it anywhere that I want to along my map. I can touch my low pressure system and move it anywhere that I want to. I can also use this little slide bar to adjust how strong that lower high pressure system is. So you can do it, but once I hit start, if I stop, I cannot. So in order to move your high and low pressure systems, you have to reload. You have to be at the beginning of your model. Okay, so that is activity 2. Good luck, you guys. Let me know how I can help you. I'm here for you, whatever you need.